Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad you've been able to tune in this afternoon. Welcome to SUHO, to our tour of our soon-to-be completed 10-star home. This is not quite live in two senses. One, I'm not on site at the construction site at the moment. We did attempt to do that, but our signal wasn't strong enough to do that. So we've done it differently. I've recorded this as a video, which I will provide commentary over. And there is a bit of a delay between what I'm saying right now and you hearing it, which means I'm not the best person to be answering your questions in the live chat. But there are other colleagues of mine from SUHO logged in to that chat, so they'll be able to answer your questions as we go. If you're wanting to participate in the live chat, you'll need to be logged in to YouTube, either with a YouTube account or a Google account, I think. Otherwise, you can just sit back and enjoy. So the 10-star home is located in Woodford, just east of Adelaide, I guess. Let's go and have a look at it. I apologise for the quality of the video. It's not completely amazing, but it'll give you a good idea. So here we have the 10-star home in the centre of the picture. To the right of the picture is the 8-star home, which is also under construction, a few weeks behind the 10-star, which had started earlier. So let's see how this looks. Clearly it wasn't filmed today. There's no clouds in the sky, or very minimal cloud in the sky. So this is just looking at the home from across the road. It's quite a busy street on quite a steep embankment. You could see in that previous shot that the houses behind us are actually a lot higher. So the house is clad externally there. You can see blackbutt timber, and that also continues in the eaves. The pergola is framed in blackbutt timber. Here we have matrix fibre cement sheet cladding on the northern facade there, and colorbond steel cladding as well. So we're just approaching the gate of the back entrance. That's the front door there, a window into the master bedroom at a higher level, and a view out across the street. So some good quality craftsmanship from our tradesmen on the site, which has been really nice to see. I'll point out that it is still, and definitely was at the time of this video, a construction site, so it's all a bit dirty and messy, but that's to be expected. So here, these two blades in colorbond steel, fascia in matrix with a flashing in colorbond again. And this window, which faces west, has, and let me just pause it there, an external Venetian blind in aluminium, which is motorised. You can see the cable for the power still hanging down because that fixing hasn't been completed yet. So if we just keep looking at that, so that will drop down over that window as required and provide the shading we need from the western sun in the afternoon. So that's, if you can see in the reflection, me obviously, but also the fact that there's no shading on that side, and we're actually a little bit elevated, so the afternoon is going to get pretty warm on this side of the house. So just coming to the front door, let me just quickly show you a couple of other things. This house has been developed in partnership with a number of suppliers and contractors, and these are the people that have made it possible to develop this home. It's been an investment in many ways, in time and money, and a learning exercise for all of us, so we're very appreciative of the input of all of our partners. So just going to the floor plan, we're going to continue the video standing here at the entry. Come into the entry and just have a quick look, and then turn into this main bedroom, which will be to the right of camera. So looking inside, we can see the very high ceiling on this side of the house. So this is the northern side of the house, and just looking at the light coming in on the ground there, we can see that we're getting good solar entry to warm the thermal mass of the floor here, which is currently covered up, but it is a concrete, polished concrete floor. And to the left of the picture you can see the brick wall. There are several brick walls in here inside the insulation layer of the house, which also act as thermal mass. So coming into the master bedroom, just a blade wall in the middle. And that's the window that faces west. There's nothing incredibly radical about the spatial arrangement of this house. It's built on a 310 square metre block. The house itself is about 115 square metres, so it's not very large, but it's about the size of many blocks that are being made available at the moment, and the size of house that a lot of people are looking to build because it's what they can afford to do. So just behind the blade wall here, electrical still going in, but a large amount of storage. The cabinetry you can see there, handles to be fixed yet. In this cupboard here we have a space for the heat recovery ventilation unit. So this provides a good amount of fresh air into all rooms in the house. The house has been built to be quite airtight, so we can manage the energy requirements for heating and cooling the house very effectively. We've achieved 0.62 air changes per hour, which is about passive house standard. The Australian average is a lot higher than that, so we were quite pleased that the builders were able to achieve that with our guidance. Into the ensuite here, those are glazed bricks in the blue with ceramic tile on the wall and tiles on the floor. The joinery is in construction at the moment. The tops haven't been put on. So that's a PGH glazed brick from one of their standard ranges. Tapware and fixings in this house have been made by CB Ideal Tapware, who are based in Edwardstown, so they're locally manufactured. And in this COVID-19 society at the moment, it's good to be aware that brass tap fittings, bare brass, these are unfinished, polished but unfinished. Bare brass has antimicrobial properties, which is kind of an important thing in a healthy house. So not only are they quite beautiful, but they are functional at a microscopic level as well. So I have to explain to people that I was really pleased with the way that the builders have put this shower screen in, which is why I've spent so long filming it, because it's just nicely aligned with a nice brass channel to match the rest of the fittings. So there you go. Back into the master bedroom here. I'll just go to the plan again. So we're coming back out this door here and coming into the entry space, and we'll, on the right of that you'll see this unit here. Well, it's a cavity at the time of the video. So this first part of the cavity is the electrical riser, which then feeds into the rest of the house through the ceiling space and service layers. This is the only electrical penetration into the house, which comes through the slab. And in this space, it's actually looking a lot tidier than that already. That's where a lot of the home automation and monitoring equipment will be. This space in here is going to be the laundry, and will be enclosed with joinery doors, so it'll be quite discreet when not in use. So coming toward the main part of the house, but just on the right of picture is the second bathroom, or the main bathroom. Got much the same fittings and finishes in here as well. Again, the joinery is incomplete and the electrical installation is still underway. Second fix. And a nice brass detail there at the tile junction. So here we have a sliding door. It's a tilt slide door, triple glazed. All of the glazing suites in this house are triple glazed. Being tilt slide, it means it's quite airtight. It's very hard to make a sliding door airtight otherwise. So we're now standing, if I go to the floor plan again, in this study nook. So that's the sliding door there, and the camera is currently just looking toward the kitchen and dining. So we'll turn around here. You can see that there's another storage unit. Given that it's a relatively compact house, it's important to build as much storage into it as we can. Here's a little study nook with one of our Sparkies. He was actually reading installation manuals in German, trying to work out a few things. And that timber cladding, it's continuous ceiling to wall to bench top. And again, the carpenters have done an excellent job of aligning all of those grooves through all those planes. So we're now coming into bedroom 2. So thermal mass wall again in the brick. The house is built on the southern boundary, so we don't have any windows to the south. So this little courtyard provides light and fresh air into the ensuite and the bathroom, and this bedroom has a full door on it, again triple glazed, so that courtyard can be accessed and used as a bit of an additional space. And again, built-in joinery. And very much a construction site. So back into that study area. So this is the lower level. We have the door there, and above it we have high level glazing, and we have several of those glazing suites above, all of which have external Venetian blinds on them and are automated for operation. Obviously can be manually overridden as well, so that the windows can open for ventilation without you having to climb on that particular ladder there. So standing in the dining area now, looking towards the bedroom and living space. So again, just to orient yourself, standing around here, that's the kitchen, looking into the bedroom and into the living area. I'll also point out that electricity was not connected at the time of filming this, so this is all natural light that you see, filmed at around 10:30 in the morning on a relatively bright day, but it shows that there is a lot of natural light in the space. And given that we've reached up as high as we can to get this light in above, it's also created a sense of grandeur and a bit of space for this relatively compact home, as I've mentioned, having that bit of height provides a bit more sense of room. So the kitchen, again PGH brick glazed on the wall there. You can get a glimpse of the floor here, not yet had its final polish. But it'll have a nice aggregate exposure when that happens. There'll be stone tops which will be pretty close in colour to the floor as well. That'll come in on top of these units here. Nicely built joinery in a relatively complex unit. This is me blindly reaching for the handle, so that's actually the fridge. That's fully integrated with a joinery front. No kits on these fridges now, which is great. And freezer below. Not sure why I spent quite so long filming that fridge, but I hope you like it. So again, looking into the living space, just pause it there, you can see a bit of a shadow around here. There is a recess around the ceiling through the living room where the lighting has actually been installed. These holes you see here and there, that's actually the duct system for the heat recovery ventilation, so you'll see those poking through in a few places. I'll just pause there for a second. Above this timber lining is quite a simple roof construction with a lot of elements to it, which gives us R10 insulation above, which is, if you know about these things, pretty high. But this was required to achieve 10 stars. We're now in the third bedroom at the back of the house. So again, mass walls. You can see ducts popping through for HRV. They'll be trimmed back to ceiling level once that's all up and going. Faceplates aren't on the light switches yet. These are all part of the ABB system. It occurred to me to show you this window. It's a tilt window, so it just pops down to provide some ventilation. The cable there is just visible at the moment while the installation is happening. That's to power the external Venetian blinds. Back in the kitchen, you can see how much dirt there is on the glass during a construction. And actually the dirt on the outside as well as the inside can give you a sense of the depth of that glazing suite of the IGU itself. All the architraves are in blackbutt timber there, as is all of this out here under the pergola. So again, just going back to the floor plan, we're now standing out here in this courtyard sort of facing the west as the camera turns around. This little enclosure is where a lot of the services are, so we'll have the hot water heat pump in there and car charger batteries, inverter, that kind of thing. Paving was yet to go down in the spot that I'm currently standing. Matrix cladding, paint finish with timber cladding above. That's actually a tongue and groove profile with additional grooves. And LVL black butt posts for the pergola. We have a deck out here as well under all of those boards, which are just down to provide protection during construction. You can see that there. And surprise, surprise, it's black butt. There's a garden bed there, and in that garden bed we'll be growing a deciduous vine, which will grow up over the pergola and provide shade in summer, drop its leaves for winter to allow the sun to come through. So you can see how much lower we are than the adjacent block, or the block to the east. Those, well, we'll come back to it when I turn around. So express joints in the matrix cladding. The brackets on the wall are for a bench that we put here outside the kitchen. A lot of variation in the colour of black butt from batch to batch, but also within the same tree, let alone the same batch. So it's going to look really nice as it ages and greys off a little as well. So coming back to these retaining walls, each of these will have a garden bed planted right through in here. We're actually without a fence between the two houses at the moment, so what you're seeing over there is the pergola of the 8-star home at the rear. So you can see a bit of the garden bed there. So the rear of bedroom 3, as I mentioned previously, an external Venetian blind. You can see the tracks there that guide the blind. As I come closer, you'll see the blind nicely tucked in its retracted position. Just runs down those guides there and provides a full block out of light. It's very effective, and we find that it's more effective that we put the blinds on the outside, sometimes both outside and inside, but if we block the heat before it hits the glazing suite, we reduce the amount of heat penetration when we want to be in control of that. So around the corner we'll have a rainwater tank in here shortly, in this paved area, and that's plumbed into laundry and toilet. Really hope they've installed a downpipe. A lot of rain today. And up on the roof, so you can see lot the 8-star home to the right there, but this is all shale grey colour bond. Up here, some small penetrations for solar, for monitoring, the monitoring of temperature and that kind of thing will then feed back into the home automation system as well. There's also a penetration for a television antenna. You can see how much higher these houses are. So that's the ground floor of these houses. They're 2 levels, and they sit well above the ground level of the 10-star home. So looking over at the 8-star home there, these 2 vents here are HRV intake and exhaust. And this is our courtyard adjacent to bedroom 2 down here. And from the roof, a nice view of the city. So we will of course be putting this on the market with city views, and I'm pretty sure that's Spencer Gulf out there, so ocean views as well. So once again, I just want to say thank you to our partners who've assisted us in making this a reality. We're really only a couple of weeks away from completion, and given how we'll see how things pan out with lockdowns and social isolation, but we will have the home open as a display for a few months to come, and you'll be able to come and visit it in person. And we'll be letting people know about how to organise tours and visits as that information becomes available. If you have any questions, I'm hoping you've been asking them as we've been going along. I'm not really able to keep up with your questions on YouTube because we're a little bit delayed, but you can find out more about the 10-star home at this website, 10starhome.com.au. There's a lot of information not only about the house itself, but about the contributions that each of the partners have made and how they've enabled us to achieve the 10 stars that we were aiming for. You can find out more about SUHO at our website, suho.com.au. There's a lot of other services that our staff provide, and we'd be happy to provide you with some assistance if possible. You can get in touch with us at email studio@suho.com.au. That email address will come directly to me and the rest of the studio team if you ever want to ask us about what we might be able to assist you with, or you can give us a call on 1300 308 525. We're all working from home at the moment, but that number will get a message at the very least to us, but you can connect with us on other mediums as well, Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. Just look for SUHO Australia. If you can't remember those particular URLs, just look us up. I'm going to try and see if I can get into YouTube and see how your questions are going, but in the meantime I'm just going to wait for you to ask questions as you so desire. I'm not going to say much because I'll let you ask questions as you go. Hopefully somebody's answering them for you. Alright, I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you all for joining us. Just stay in touch. Send through any more questions if you have any. And hopefully soon we'll give you a tour of the completed home as well. Cheers!